And I go to bed tired and I wake up hungry. It all goes to zero at midnight. We had a guy on our sales team who came from another company, and he would hit it, he would make a sale, and then he would just kind of relax for a couple hours and walk around and talk to people. And I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, well, that's what we did at my company. Like, if we hit our quota for the day, we just took the rest of the day off. And I'm like, well, you ain't, what is it? You're not in Oz anymore. Because when I hit that number, it's going to go, we're going to try to hit another number, okay? It's called momentum. We'll try to build some momentum here, right? So first of all, number one, do you know what your B is? Now, let me ask the bigger question. When I do this exercise, A to B, this is, I have tangible goals and I have what would be considered qualitative goals. Okay? When I was working on my doctorate, I had a course in quantitative measurement and qualitative. I couldn't understand why I'm getting a degree in leadership. What is this? Why am I in a course about statistics? Quantitative measurement means what? You can measure it. Qualitative measurement means what? You can feel it. You can feel it. So what if one of my B's was, I want to work at my house in Florida. See, my wife and kids are all down at our house in Florida. They go down and stay down there for the whole month of June. What if I said I want to work in Florida 3 months out of the year? And I want to structure the business in such a way that I could live in Florida. Could that be part of my B? Yes or no? Yes. Could part of my B being that I spend 80 to 90% of my time doing exactly what I love doing, exactly what I'm supposed to be doing, and I design the business where I don't have to do anything I don't want to do? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. So part of the B is like an ideal scenario that I'm moving toward. Well, guess what? If your B is like that, let's say I want to live in Florida half the year, whatever. Let's say I only want to speak and coach. I don't want to sell. I don't want to close. Let's just say. Let's say I only want to coach a certain type of person. Let's say I only want to coach at boot camps. Let's say I only want to speak in cities I like. Anybody from St. Louis? All right, yeah, there you go. I got a request to speak in St. Louis this morning. Now, not yet, but I'm thinking about it. Now, here's my point. Here's my point. Could I design my life that way, yes or no?
Yes.
Could that be part of my B?
Right.
Okay, you know what it's going to take? Money. It's going to take money. Because to design your whole life around your talent, you're going to need other people to do things you don't want to do. Where's that money going to come from? It's going to come from selling. So if you never get good at selling and producing revenue in your business, number one, you always struggle with money. And that is a terrible anxiety to have every day. Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. Number two, you cannot expand without money. You can't market. You can't hire people. You can't grow, which means you end up doing all the things you hate doing. Yes? You don't just embrace the suck for a short period of time, like the Navy SEALs say. You embrace the suck every day. Okay? So when I'm designing my B over here, the reason this is important is because there's going to be days you don't feel like prospecting. There's going to be days you don't feel like following up. There's going to be days you don't feel like doing the things I'm going to show you today. And you got to get real clear in why am I doing this? What is the reason I'm willing to do things I don't want to do to get to a place I want to get to? Because what keeps people from going from here to there is just 4 or 5 things. Right? They don't have the knowledge. They don't have the skill. They don't have the desire. They don't have the confidence. They don't have the relationships. But a big thing that keeps people from doing there is they just don't have the consistency every day to get up and do it every day, even when they don't feel like it. Now, you can be incredibly smart. You can create incredible products, but those products will not sell themselves. Somebody's got to put a marketing plan in place. Somebody's got to pick up a phone. Somebody's got to call somebody. So when you're doing this exercise right here, there's something called because goals that I talk about a lot. And a because goal is a big reason you do something. Because of this. I do this because of this. Okay? Even when I don't feel like it, I do it. And if you don't know your because goals, many times you don't have the toughness and discipline it takes to do things you don't want to do. See, my wife got the good end of the deal because she took our jet to Florida. I had to fly on Southwest. Because she had the kids and the nannies. And I'm like, you take the jet, I'll fly commercial. Okay? Now, last night coming home at 2 o'clock in the morning, the dude beside me is laying on my shoulder like this right here. Okay? And I'm sitting here like, I mean, he's this big dude. And I'm like, dude, you don't lay on the guy beside you. But it's a 4-hour flight from Sacramento. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm miserable, and I'm like, I don't know, should I elbow him? Should I like get off me? Like he's just asleep on me.
She'll appreciate you.
Now, because of that, I'm willing to go out and sell something so I don't have to do that.
Yeah, get that second jet.
Everybody with me?
Yes.
Okay. Now, part of your B should be your passive income become greater than your living expenses. And if you work long enough and hard enough and enough hours, and you will never get there if you don't learn how to sell. Create enough income so you have passive income at the end of every month that you can then what? Reinvest. See, I'll show you the exact wealth formula I've used. Take money from my coaching business, buy real estate. Most of the real estate that I bought is appreciated over $1 million. Like I just had this appraised last week. I'm guessing that the appraisal on this property will come in at least $1 million more than I bought it. Now I got $1 million more to operate with. Or at least 80% of that to take and do what? Improve the property, put into investments, go buy more real estate. Okay? So invest in a team, spend more money in marketing. Well, that never happens in a business if you don't have any leftover money at the end of every month. You can never get to that cycle of taking money and investing in something that produces more money. Everybody with me? This is why you got to learn how to sell. So when I'm doing my B, this B may be 15 things. It may be I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this. This is how much money we want to generate. And in between A and B, like this, here's all the things I don't like. Here's everything I'm trying to get to. Now the question becomes right here in the middle, how do I do it? How do I get there? Do I need to hire somebody? Do I need to partner with someone? What do I need to do to get from A to B in my business? Everybody see this? But it all starts by having a clear B. If you're a sales rep for a company and you say, I want to make $100,000 a year, how many calls do I need to make every day? Who do I need to be talking to? How do I skill up so I can actually close some business? What conferences and workshops do I need to be in? Who do I need to study under? So this is the first problem most people have in the selling system is you don't have a clear target. Okay, so I want you to take a second right now and I want you to write out all the things you don't like currently about your structure and business. Because you need that as motivation. Okay? Then I want you to write up, in an ideal scenario, our business is producing this much money of revenue. Now, if you don't know your profit margins, okay, if you're operating on a 40% profit, so the first thing I ask people when I'm coaching them typically is, what revenue are you doing? And they say, well, I'm doing 100,000. And I'm like, well, what's your profit margin on 100,000? And they say, well, I don't know. How much money are you actually keeping off the 100,000? How much money do you have left over after the 100,000? Right? What are your current living expenses right now? How much does it cost you to live at your current lifestyle? Okay, now if you do the stats on small businesses in the United States, they're terrible. 28 million small businesses, $47,000 a year is typically what they're making or producing. Only 4% of companies will ever get to $1 million of revenue. See what I'm saying? Most go out of business in the first 5 years, and those that don't go out of business in the first 5 years go out of business in the second 5 years. And it all comes back to one thing. They don't have enough customers. Mike, that came in here and introduced me, was with one of the biggest companies in the world, George P. Johnson, in their marketing department. And they laid like thousands of people off during COVID. You know why? They didn't have enough customers. Right? It wasn't because he was doing a bad job. It's because they don't have enough money. But they don't have enough money because they don't have enough customers. So the whole concept is, how do we wake up and go get more people? Okay? So I want you to take a minute right now, because when you're trying to do this, I'm going to ask you why. Why do you want to do it? Why do you want to hit that number? What's the purpose of it?